welcome to FNS Sports Media Podcast, episode 24. I'm Cooper.
My name's Aaron.
Let's get right into it. So, as you guys probably know, last week was the 2023 MLB World Series, and Diamondbacks versus Rangers wasn't really a big series. Rangers won four games to one, and except for that one game, maybe two games, Arizona didn't really look into it.
No, Arizona kind of, didn't show up in the way that they had in other postseason series, and it just felt like the way that game one went down, it kind of just derailed them completely, and it was Texas was off to the races at that point.
Yeah, definitely. It was actually the Diamondbacks were winning in the top of the ninth with Paul Sewald. I mean, Torey Lovullo, I think when he puts Paul Sewald out there, he's probably just like, all right, let's see what it does. And in his mind, he's probably like, he's going to dominate. And then he did not dominate. Corey Seager hit that game-tying home run to tie that. And then in the extra innings, Adolis Garcia hit that walk-off home run.
Yeah, shocker, right? Adolis Garcia and Corey Seager were the two heroes of game one. Absolutely not a shocker, but when the Rangers needed their stars to come through the most, they certainly did, and took Arizona by surprise after Arizona kind of dominated game one. Everything, the first 8 innings were all Arizona, and then just 9 in extras were all dominated by Texas.
Yeah, definitely. And just to see this matchup is very crazy because, in 2022, the Diamondbacks only won 74. And listen to this, the Rangers only won 68 games. So for these two teams to be able to turn their organization around and for the managers to be able to do that, because I bet you it does not feel good to lose like 100 million games in a season. And then they were like, I don't like how that feels. And then they came back here and look at this. 2 teams were in the World Series.
Yeah, I think it's great for Major League Baseball to see 2 teams that both, lost almost 100 games last year to turn around and be in the World Series in the following year. I think it just goes to show that teams can turn things around quickly in Major League Baseball, and that keeps fans involved, that keeps more teams involved, holds people's attention, and for us Cardinal fans, it gives us a little glimmer of hope for next year after this year's train wreck of the season.
Yeah, this is Bruce Bochy's first season in Texas, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is his this is Bruce Bochy's first season in Texas, and Torey Lovullo had already managed 7 seasons in Arizona, so Torey Lovullo already knew most of his staff and his crew, and Bruce Bochy was like, I'm new here, and let's just go win, and that's what they did.
Yeah, Lovullo had lost more games than he'd won in his time in Arizona. So it was really great to see them. It was great to see them turn the corner after building such a strong farm system.
Yes, definitely. I just think Bruce Bochy managed those games so well. Just how he plays, and because how he's able to manage and tell the players that he's just a great coach.
Yeah, the players seem to love him. They seem to respond really well to him, and he just knows how to manage a bullpen.
Yeah, it was awesome to see Evan Carter and Corbin Carroll, the 2 rookie superstars, be able to clash together, and they did not disappoint this postseason.
No, it was great to see the young players coming in. It was great to see young players be superstars in the World Series, especially Corbin Carroll. Man, that guy carried Arizona, and he was phenomenal. And it's just encouraging to see that new group of young stars in the major leagues.
Yeah, definitely. Now let's go fast forward to game 2. This is where Merrill Kelly had started, and I think Max Scherzer had started, and Merrill Kelly basically just dominated this game.
Yeah, Merrill Kelly comes in and wins the game. I think the biggest shock there was going to be losing Adolis Garcia and Max Scherzer.
Yeah, that's crazy. And they lost both of those players in those games, but then they brought in uh, Jankowski and another random bullpen dude, and it did not matter. They still were a bulldozer.
Yeah, and so it was great. It was great for Texas fans. It was great to see them overcome some adversity and push through. You're always going to have to, in order to win a championship. It feels like every team has to push through that wall of adversity, and it came for Texas in the form of losing two superstars.
Yeah, and Jordan Montgomery was on the mound for versus Merrill Kelly, and Jordan Montgomery, he let up a few runs, and he's not really that strikeout guy. It was in the middle of the game, and like they were showing comparing the two pitchers, and Merrill Kelly had like 7 strikeouts, and Montgomery had like one, but like it was like 3-1, and I'm just like that just goes to show how you can still be a ground ball pitcher where you just get a bunch of ground balls, not have that strikeout stuff. You just got to make sure that they don't hit too many ground balls, and you got to make sure that you can still manage it.
Yeah, defense has to step up. Defense has to play well. It helps if you can get some weak contact, which Jordan Montgomery, which he did. Arizona hit a lot of balls, but they weren't hitting them hard. Defense was able to make plays. And I think that's just the key for a pitcher like Montgomery, who's not a power pitcher like that, to be able to just induce weak ground balls.
Yeah, definitely. And just Arizona being this fast team, just fast paced, they want to make misery on the base paths, just make the players work so much, and it's just awesome to see.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Great effort from Arizona. A good mix of styles of ball. You get Texas that likes to mash, and you got Arizona that likes to run.
Yeah.
Good conflicting styles of ball.
Yeah, and then game 3, Max Scherzer started, and then John Gray had 3 innings, and then Josh Chapman came in, and then Corey Seager and second baseman Marcus Semien turned a 6-4-3 double play to save Chapman. Man, just Chapman, how he throws 103, but somehow he always seems to get into trouble. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's a reason why Chapman, ever since he left the Yankees, he's been traded several times.
Yeah.
He's kind of bounced around to different places. The stuff is there. He throws hard, but you're right. He always seems like he's in trouble. And so sometimes teams just feel like, oh, yeah, I can fix it. I can fix it. I can fix it. And then he goes out there and he throws 103 miles an hour. And it
goes all the way to the backstop.
Yeah. And so, or it gets crushed or something else like that. And so, yes, he throws hard, but that's not all it takes to be a successful pitcher.
Yeah, and the Cinderella run for Brandon Pfaadt kind of ended that game. He had pitched awesome in the postseason. And Seager and Semien combined to drive in all 3 of the Texas runs, all in the 3rd inning. Seager delivered his 2nd home run in that game, and a 2-run shot that created some cushion. You always love cushion for those pitchers. Pitchers love it. And then Pfaadt departed with 1 out in the 6th. He was pitching in a big league game for just his 23rd time, so he's still a very good. He's still a rookie. He's still got tons of potential.
Yeah, that was his 23rd career start. Max Scherzer was making his 30th career postseason start.
Yeah.
And so, you kind of felt like the clock was going to strike midnight for Pfaadt at some point. Rookies don't typically continue to dominate all the way through, especially in their first postseason. And Pfaadt wasn't bad. He wasn't bad. He only gave up 3 runs in 6 innings. It was just that the Arizona's bats couldn't get anything going.
Yeah, just Max Scherzer be out there, get kind of just go 3 innings, but he was still dominating. And then for the bullpen arms to come back, game 4 kind of easy. The Rangers won there, not a lot of struggle. And then game 5, I feel like the Texas Rangers walked away with this one, but I feel like Arizona had tons of potential. They could have done so much more than what they did because they had runners. I remember a few times, bases loaded, and they could not have anything done with them.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those opportunities, or one of those games was a bunch of wasted opportunities for Arizona. When they look back at it, they'll think, and Game 5 was a chance they had to maybe get back into the series, or maybe force Texas to feel a little bit of pressure, but they just couldn't get the hit when they needed it, and Texas sealed the deal.
Yeah. Fun fact: Bruce Bochy's one of just 5 managers to have 4 World Series titles. That's just awesome. That's just awesome for him.
Yeah, some of those other ones. You got Joe McCarthy with 7, Casey Stengel with 7, Connie Mack was 5. Walter Alston was 4. The only other name from more modern times, you've got Joe Torre with 4 rings. And so anytime you're mentioned in the same breath with somebody like Joe Torre, you know that your career is headed in the right direction.
All right. We're going to talk about the 2023 Gold Glover finalists for National League Gold Glove Awards. For first base, Christian Walker for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Too bad that he didn't play a very good postseason. His defense kind of went down, and his offense kind of was.
Yeah, and he made one mistake defensively.
But he did have that play where it bounced off the base and he one-handed. That was pretty good.
Yes, so he had one mistake defensively that could have cost Arizona a couple of runs in a game, but overall pretty solid.
Second base, Nico Horner for the Chicago Cubs. Third base, Key Brian Hayes from the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Dethroning Nolan Arenado, who wasn't even a finalist this time, but for the first time almost in your entire life, Nolan Arenado did not win the third base Gold Glove Award.
Shortstop, Dansby Swanson. Left field, Ian Happ. Center field, Brenton Doyle. Right field, Fernando Tatis. Utility, Ha-Sung Kim, which I think Tommy Edman should have won. Pitcher, Zach Wheeler. And catcher, Gabriel Moreno.
Yeah, you got 3 Cubs on the list. 3 Cubs on that list, and so pretty good showing defensively for the team from Chicago that I don't like very much.
First for American League, first base Nathaniel Lowe for the Texas Rangers. Second base Andreas Jimenez from the Cleveland Guardians. Third base Matt Chapman, Toronto Blue Jays. Shortstop Anthony Volpe, New York Yankees. Left field Stephen Kwan, Cleveland Guardians. Center field Kevin Kiermaier, Toronto Blue Jays. Right field Adolis Garcia, Texas Rangers. Utility Mauricio Dubon, Houston Astros. Pitcher Jose Barreros, Toronto Blue Jays. Catcher Jonah Heim for the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, I know you were driving the Anthony Volpe train early in the year for Rookie of the Year.
Now he's got a Gold Glove.
He's at least got a Gold Glove. He's probably not going to win the Rookie of the Year, but you were onto something with the glove.
Yeah. So those were the Gold Glove Awards for 2023. We've already had World Series just ended, and now we already have some news. Big news, big news. Cubs fired David Ross, who I didn't even know was on the hot seat, and then hired Craig Counsell, which now the Cubs could go from a line they were almost a playoff team, and now they have potential. Guardians hired Stephen Vogt, who just ended his major league career as a catcher in 2022. Mets hired Carlos Mendoza. Peter Bendix now is the Marlins head of operations. Domingo Germán elects free agency. Stroman opts out, and so does Cody Bellinger, but that was kind of expected. Diamondbacks extend manager Torey Lovullo through 2026, so you'll be seeing a lot more Torey Lovullo.
Yeah, some real big news there. Like you said, didn't really think that David Ross was on the hot seat. We kind of figured Craig Counsell, his contract was over with the Brewers. We kind of figured he was going to be moving on somewhere else. Did not expect him to stay within the division, so that is definitely big news there.
Yeah, I would have thought he meant maybe go to the Mets or something, which I know talked to him. Maybe go to one of those big market teams, get a little more money, but he's still making a bunch of money.
He's now the highest paid manager in the major leagues. Chicago's a pretty big market too. Willing to pay some money. You would have to pay me a lot more money to go to the mess that is the New York Mets over there, though. So Cubs looking like they're in good shape. Got their manager. It'll be interesting to see where David Ross ends up.
Yeah. Cardinals claim Jared Young and acquire Riley O'Brien from the Seattle Mariners. Blue Jays, Whit Merrifield declines the $18 million mutual option. The Tigers acquire outfield Mark Canha from the Brewers from a minor leaguer. The Braves bring back right-handed pitcher Charlie Morton.
He feels like Charlie Morton's like 60 or something.
Yeah, I remember in 2017 he pitching for the Astros. It was like, holy cow. Now Philadelphia and the Rays work together to get trade done that sent pitcher Michael Mercado to the Phillies in exchange for Adam Levette and cash considerations. Make sure to thank you to The Athletic, ESPN, and MLB.com for all the information. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, and we'll see you guys later.